as I am. So, let's get right into it. Molly's family describes her as a natural athlete. She was an easy baby, and I found it really cute that she apparently spoke with an accent for the first few years of her life because her daycare provider had a French accent. She played any sport that was in season. She was right there with dance lessons and pitching lessons, basketball, softball, you name it. Molly was out there playing it. She had perfect attendance through elementary and middle school, and she was popular. She was a protective sister to her brothers, Garrett and Devin, and extremely close with her maternal grandmother. She was a junior in high school at the time of her disappearance. She was attending a vocational school, hoping to become a nurse, and she worked part-time at a funeral home answering the phone. Colt was the youngest of 6 children, and he grew to be a fierce, protective young man. He and his family were extremely close, and though he was pretty shy as a kid, he quickly became the happy, bubbly one in the family. When Colt disappeared, he also left behind his only child, a newborn son that he had named Jagger. He was only 9 months old at the time that Colt went missing. I couldn't find any information on how Colt and Molly met. I couldn't find anything about any of that. Our story involves one night, and really just a couple of hours on this one hot, humid July night. All I could find is that they had known each other about a week and may have been headed towards a relationship. But how do you know after a week? So that takes us to July 7th of 2013. 17-year-old Molly and 21-year-old Colt were picked up by a friend that they had in common, a guy named James Con Nip. He goes by Con, so that's how I will refer to him in this story. And we're going to talk a lot about Con. So they both had known Con for a really long time, I guess, and in fact, Colt's baby was with Con's ex-girlfriend, so they must have known each other at least by, association. These 3 are riding around in a car together. I have no accounts of what they were doing before around 10:30 when they decided to pull into a gas station. Now Con is driving and Molly and Colt are just passengers on this thrill ride that they're about to have. They pull into this gas station parking lot around 10:30 and they are in Wilson, Oklahoma. And according to police reports, this dark-colored Honda sped into the parking lot and the driver spun the tires and tossed gravel all over a police car that was sitting there. sheriff. His name is Joe Russell, and he knows that James Nip, or just plain Con, I keep forgetting, is just plain trouble to the deputies. He had a history of doing this. He would spin out his tires and then run from them, and then cross into neighboring county lines where they could not catch him. So that explains to me why they called for backup, because this was his MO, and they knew they would need the neighboring county. So, again, reaching speeds of 120 miles an hour, Con resists the authorities' calls to pull over and heads towards his family's property. He crosses from Carter County into neighboring Love County, Oklahoma. And as quick as this chase begins, it's over. The police stop on the county line and watch as the taillights disappear in front of them. Deputies halted their pursuit in the vicinity of Long Hollow Road. Con and Molly and Colt continue driving in towards Love County. And where that dirt road ends is where the disappearance of Molly Miller and Colt Haynes begins. Now, this is all based on cell phone pings and phone calls. Molly's last known location was Pike Road in Love County. According to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, or the OSBI, according to their missing persons report, phone records show that after the police chase and into the early morning hours of July 8th, both Molly and Colt made several phone calls to their friends asking for rides. And Colt's friends back this up. They say that he called them and he said that he needed help. He was lying in a creek bed and that he had a broken ankle. I also read that he said that he fell from a tree and that his bone was sticking out and that he was coughing up blood. I didn't see the actual reports on this, so I don't know what is true, but let's just say he's got a broken leg at this point, okay? So he's not walking anywhere, so he desperately needs a ride, and it's the middle of the night. So let's say he's injured somehow, and Molly is staying with him. She starts calling 911, and at this time, Colt, too many C names, his friends are out looking, and he calls them and he's like, I think I'm between Long Hollow and Pike Road. And his friends, good friends that they are, drove up and down these roads, just honking and yelling, talking to Colt on the phone, but he could not hear them, and they could not hear him. Molly called friends and family. I didn't find any record of who she actually spoke to or what was said, except that she was in a field somewhere in Love County and could they please come and get her. At 12:57 a.m., Molly, or someone using Molly's phone, we're not going to get into specifics there, but calls 911 and dispatchers pick it up, but there's no one there. Moments later, more calls to 911, more than a dozen calls every other minute in rapid succession, and all of these calls drop. No one from 911 is able to speak to Molly Miller. But these calls were made because Molly's parents got records of her cell phone calls. Here's what I find really strange. Despite the fact that they had all these calls, no one was ever dispatched. Now, maybe they didn't know the exact location and they didn't want to waste resources, but if you're getting phone calls rapidly over and over from the same place, I imagine it's harder to pinpoint if it's a cell phone, but something is clearly going on. Someone is clearly needing and seeking assistance from you. I don't know, I just found it really strange. searching all over Long Hollow Road where Molly and Colt said that Con had dropped them off. Why did he drop them off? Colt's buddies go back to town and they didn't find anything, but they do find Con with no car, no Colt, no Molly, and no answers. So these two kids are concerned that they might be in over their heads, so they go to the families and they reach out to the Love County Sheriff, Joe Russell, for help. But this guy, he's shady. He refused to take this missing persons report. He said that it's not his problem. And just by his actions alone, this makes Molly's family really suspicious. And they believe that this Sheriff Joe Russell is covering something up. And why in the world would the Sheriff of Love County be covering for something? Well, Con, the guy driving this car the night of the chase, he's not talking, and he's a guy with a long rap sheet and a pretty bad reputation. Family members said that this Sheriff Joe Russell was trying to cover Con's tracks. And you're thinking, well, why would he do that? They're cousins. Sheriff Joe Russell and James Con Nip are family. So, the kids, Colt and Molly, they're kids. He's 21, and that means they won't issue an Amber Alert for him. Surprisingly, they won't issue one for Molly either, even though she's only 17, because they considered her an endangered runaway, saying that she entered this vehicle of her own free will. Well, I don't care, man. She entered the vehicle, but she didn't come back with the vehicle. So something is going on. Like, where is the car, first of all? I would think it's strange if, even if I was trying to cover for my cousin and he came back without a car. Like, how did you get back? Did you walk? Did you fly? What? So, the last Thursday of July in 2013, an extensive search was conducted in the area between Long Hollow and Pike Roads. They had horses, they had ATVs, they had people on foot. They were desperate to find Molly and Colt. On July 31st, they actually took up airplanes and helicopters to comb the area extensively, but they found nothing. I wonder if they used like heat-seeking devices at that point, because it was like 2 weeks later. Well, I guess 3 weeks later. That's a long time to hope to find someone alive in the woods. I would have thought maybe Molly would have gone for help if Colt couldn't walk. I don't know. Anyway, I understand that searches don't happen overnight. It takes money and time to get airplanes and helicopters, but it's still. So, they're searching this whole area, right? And they're looking all over the place. They got airplanes and helicopters. So tell me why this Honda was found 2 weeks later in an area that was right where these people were searching. They found the car on the 22nd. So, okay, if you timeline it, that was before the helicopters and stuff, but you got people on horseback and ATV. You can't tell me they didn't see a whole car, like, in a field, just. So, this car was trashed. It had about $18,000 worth of damages done to it, but I couldn't find out exactly what. It was driven through several barbed wire fences, according to the police reports, which did a lot of damage, and there was damage to the undercarriage from driving through ditches. Why is this kid driving through barbed wire fences and ditches? Why is he not driving on on the road. A family member of Molly, a woman named Paula Miller Fielder, I believe she's her mom's sister, she's a cousin of some type. She is all up in this case, and bless her for it. Everyone needs a family member like this. She goes to Khan's house, and at the beginning of September, and she's like, look, tell me if they were okay when you left them in the woods. He says, I don't know what you're talking about. I never left them. I didn't leave them in the woods. I wasn't with them. Dude, yes you were. So, finally she says, look, Khan, I know that she's dead. Just tell me where she is. I need to find her. And he says, I don't know what you're talking about. Now, Paula doesn't necessarily believe that Khan killed Molly, but she knows that he knows what happened. So, Sheriff Joe Russell does take drastic measures to steer this investigation away from Khan. He allegedly told deputies not to pursue him, but we're pretty sure that, he's got information on this case. So this case just stagnates. They find nothing, and I find it so weird. If he's in a ditch coughing up blood, you didn't find any trace of that. That doesn't seem right. So, 6 months later, in January of 2014, arrest warrants are issued for Khan and his girlfriend, Sabrina, who actually owned this Honda. She tried to say that he had stolen it, but later then admitted that she gave him permission to borrow it, and she was charged with filing a false insurance claim. So she said he tried to take it, or said he took it and then wrecked it, and she tried to get the money off of it. People are shady. So, the arrest warrants are issued, and Khan turns himself in, and he sticks to his story. I don't know where they are. I wasn't with them, even though, police saw you guys and chased you. So, he was convicted of endangering others while eluding a police officer, and he was sentenced to 10 years in prison, followed by 10 years of probation. But investigators have never been able to prove that he had something to do with Molly and Colt's disappearance. He had a prior criminal record for marijuana possession, and he served 4 years of his 10-year sentence, and he was released from prison in 2018. 1 year after Molly's disappearance and Colt's disappearance, Molly's disappearance became an official homicide investigation. I don't know if Colt ever did, but I assume that they both did, but most of everything was about Molly, which makes me angry because Colt also disappeared. So it's been a full year before the OSBI acknowledges the likelihood that she's been murdered. Hello. So, investigators are pretty challenged with the lack of physical evidence. But there are just some couple little things that pop up here and there. 8 months after they went missing, a man named Colby Barrick, who is Khan's uncle, inadvertently called 911. And from the sounds of it, he was describing how Molly and Colt were murdered. He said, "You know you're effing mad, you know you're effing tired, effing Moxley Lake, a buck knife, Molly Miller. They shot him in the mouth, right there. I can put my finger all the way through it." That's a pretty suspicious 911 phone call to me. She then called Sheriff Russell, which, well, she told him that she heard someone talking about Molly and Colt, and she said that whoever this was, they didn't know they were on 911, and the call comes from a pond just north of Long Hollow Road on Oswald. And when I looked it up, that pond has never been searched by authorities, and Miller's cousin Paula believes that it is the most significant place that needs to be looked at for Molly. Until it can be searched and taken off the list, it's the main tip right now that we have, she said. Love County has since appointed a new sheriff who told the family that he does plan to search Moxley Pond because Sheriff Russell was arrested for many, many different things. One of them was covering up crimes. When you're shady, man, you know, you get caught. So, I did read that Molly had disappeared before, but she always came home. So I don't think that she just, ran away. A lot of these cases are like, oh, she ran away to start a new life. No, I think something happened to them out there in those fields, and I don't know if it was Con getting messed up in something and Colt and Molly were victims of this, or Con did it to them. I don't know what happened. I find it really weird that the car was found 2 weeks later on the same road where the chase had taken place. What took them so long? Did it magically appear overnight? Was it invisible? What? I mean, a car is a pretty big thing to just show up out of nowhere. I could see, maybe them missing Colt's blood in a ditch, but even then I find that hard to believe. But a whole car. There was a fire pit that was found near where the car was found. This pit was apparently about 10 feet deep, and it had been burning for approximately 2 weeks. So again, there's this fire pit and it's burning and there's smoke, but no one notices this whole freaking car. 5 hours after Molly's family told the police about it, because they went out to this area to investigate, an officer came out. He took some samples from the pit and then covered it up. But those results have not been released, and I'm imagining if it was human remains, we would know by now. Molly's family said that investigators told them, and I could not believe this, there were no fingerprints in the car because they had evaporated due to moisture. One of Colt's sisters said that a police officer told her that Molly's purse and ID were recovered in the car, but Molly's family has not ever been told this, and I think that's just weird. I don't know how true it is, but the OSBI, along with Molly's family, have established a $45,000 reward for any answers that would lead to finding her. And there is also an active Facebook page for each of them that I will link down below. If you have any information on the disappearances of Molly Miller and Colt Haynes, please, any tip is a tip, and the police would, I'm sure, love to know anything that you know. I find this case so odd. What happened to them? What happened? I need to know what happened in that field. Did they really get shot? Was this a drug deal gone wrong? What happened? that Con is still just sticking to, I was never with them, I don't know anything. People like that slip up. They say something to their buddy, they say something to their cellmate, they say something to someone. Now maybe, it doesn't happen that often, but maybe this kid is smart enough to know, hey, I'm gonna go to jail for a long time if I say anything to anyone, and he has just ziplocked it. But I find it weird that he hasn't, like, gotten drunk and accidentally spilled the beans. Anyway, sorry this is a shorter video, but I will make it up to you very soon. I have a long one in the works. It is a request, so I've been working on that as well. I've been on a missing persons kick lately. I don't really do it on purpose. It just kind of, as I research, I find this case, which leads me to this case, which leads me over here. So, anyway, thank you for watching, and I would love to know what you think about this case in the comments below. I also thought that we are getting very, very close to 3,500 subscribers, and that I would do a Q&A for that. So if you have questions for me, please drop them down below. I haven't done a Q&A since 500 subscribers. That was a really long time ago. So if you're interested and you want to know anything about me or my family or anything, let me know down below. I will also put something on the community tab so that if you're asleep and you're completely missing this,